Ryan Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions. I'm sitting here with a very long-time flyer, great success, great pigeon knowledge, Serge Van Elsacker. Wow. I've really enjoyed going and looking in the lofts here, taking the time to show me how you do your roundabout, how you play with the hens, the cocks. Very interesting.
Yep.
You started off again as a 10-year-old boy with no pigeon knowledge in your family, in your DNA, which is very different from a lot of the people I've visited here in Belgium and in Holland. Their great-grandchildren, or. It's amazing to see the results that you have. And the work ethic you have, and the confirmation in the pigeons. I handle these pigeons, and right away I can feel these are super middle distance pigeons. Now, selection of pigeons. How do you do it? How do you select pigeons? Because you didn't start with any knowledge, but you learned.
Yeah, I didn't start with any knowledge, but I think after 52 years, I think you know more or less what's going on. And I told you the first 6 years were terrible. I didn't know anything about pigeon, never saw a pigeon in my life. Just by accident I got into it. Mm-hmm. And first 6 years were no good, but then after 6 years I start winning. My teacher in my school where I went to school then was a very good sprint racer. He helped me. He told me build a loft like this, go to the vet, feed like this. Then I met William Geertz in the later years, 2 years later, and a little local fancy where we moved over here in Guillaume de Chem was a good sprint racer, helped me too. And learning from those three people, read every book that was written on pigeons.
So you read a lot of books?
I read every book because I don't like to read a book except it's about pigeons, then I like to read it.
Okay. And
I think you have to build your own system. I always try, because in those days I had to go to work, mm-hmm. I tried to make a system that's easy and that still brings success. And I think a lot of systems bring success, but people make it too complicated. I think you must make it as easy as you can. You want to win. Everybody wants to win. So once you're winning, you know you can do it with that system. Make a system that you can do. I like to raise young birds. I like to raise old birds. I prefer all birds, but I would say people that have to go to work, that don't have the time, make a selection. Do either old birds or either young birds, but don't overdo it and try to do everything good, because you can't do everything good.
Right, so you're saying, probably have your youngsters, if you're flying young birds, concentrate on young birds, or if you're flying old birds, concentrate on cocks or concentrate on hens. Don't be doing widowhood, celibate, on eggs, on babies, 10 different systems in your loft. Just keep it simple.
Sure, I know in my loft, even young birds on nests, on eggs, on babies, it doesn't work. It's not for me. I don't like it. I don't feel it.
Okay.
I cannot handle it. So I raise everything on widowhood, young birds even separated, just roundabout system.
Right.
And it works, and I like to do it. And it's simple. Even like feeding, I always feed the same mixture. From day one, they start racing till the end of racing. Not in the malting, then I'm feeding a malting mixture. Not in the breeding, then I'm feeding a normal breeding mixture. But in the racing, from day one till the last day of racing season, always the same food, always as much as they want. And I know I can ask from the pigeons what I want, because they have reserve enough, they have enough food, and they're always good.
Excellent points. When you started, when you were 10, and we go back to this, and it took you that 6 years, and you're learning how to hold the pigeons and this and that, and you're taking a lot in. You're reading, you're like a sponge. You're going left, you're going right, you're going up, you're going down. Confusing, very confusing times. There came though that time where you started to get the pieces of the puzzle right. And I'm sure there was that point where the pigeons that you then decided, I want to play with different pigeons. Was that right? You had to go and start bringing in pigeons?
Yeah, but it all happened actually by coincidence too, because I told you before, my old base pigeons was Mullemans, Jansons, Stosers, Hofkens, but it's all based on the Jansen Mullemans pigeons. But Carl Mullemans was the breeder, Adriaan Wouters was the racer. But Adriaan Wouters died the same day his ace pigeon of Belgium, the Mergs, died, and those pigeons were auctioned here in the next village. Now, auction here in the next village, I didn't have to go there because I was young, I was married, I had a young family, I didn't have the money.
Right.
But 4 people from our village here went to buy there a lot of pigeons, also from the Golden Couple, also from the Mergs, from the Cadet.
Wow.
And I was lucky to get them from those people. And those 4 people who bought them, I tell you the names, it's Staf Simons, it's William Geerts, it's Willy van Berenung, and it's Maurice Bonte. They won everything here 3-4 years later with those Mullemans Adriaan Wouters pigeons. And I bought them from there. And that was my first success, and it's still my basic of pigeons from those years. It's 40 years ago, but it's still in my pigeons. And it's not by looking pigeons further away, but getting coincidence and getting the opportunity to buy those good pigeons in my area that helped me win it.
So you were very lucky, and this is a very good area for racing pigeons.
It was a very good area. It was very crowded. Now we still have around 95 members in our club, which is still a good club.
Right.
The Antwerp Union still has a good numbers of pigeons. In 4,000 or 5,000 pigeons when the main races are there, which is on the middle distance, is good numbers of pigeons. So we're still a good area.
Do you think the pigeon flyers back in those days are better than the pigeon flyers of today, or is it just different?
I don't know. I think the mentality is different. In those days, I think you started with pigeons and you had an idea building a family of pigeons, winning. Now they don't seem to have the intention of building a family. Now it's just buying a pigeon from here and a pigeon left and a pigeon right, and we're going to try it and we're going to win it, and if we win it and we can get a lot of money, we sell everything and we start all over. In those days, I think people were scared to lose their family of pigeons. I'm still scared. I'm an old-fashioned fancier. I think a family of pigeons that winning, that you know your family, that you know how they react, how they respond, is very important. And I try to buy every few years, or every year I try to buy something else, which I give 2 years time if it works. If it doesn't work, they go out again. I don't care what I paid, I don't care how many they are, but they go out. And if it works, it will work immediately.
Okay, when you're looking to purchase pigeons, because hey, in the 50 years you've had pigeons?
Yeah.
Close to 50 years?
No,
53.
over 53 years.
53 years. So you've had pigeons longer than I've been alive. That's okay.
Oh, you're a young guy.
I've had pigeons 39 years, okay? I'm dating myself here, but that's fine. I almost lost train of thought here. You going to purchase pigeons today?
Yeah.
We don't have to name names of maybe where you're interested in going. That's not the question. The question I have is, what do you look for when you're going to purchase pigeons?
I always told over those years, you have to buy pigeons at a fancier that you like. I must first like the fancier and then like his pigeons, because everybody likes to sell pigeons. Everybody can sell pigeons what you want, but they must be given to you. He must be doing you a favor by giving from his good pigeons. I can buy pigeons everywhere, but I have to have the good ones. What I'm with second choice? Nothing.
Right.
So the fancier I must like, and then the pigeons I must like. And I always buy pigeons for the purpose that I'm using. I'm not going to buy extreme long distance pigeons because they won't be any good in here. I'm not using them. They're too slow.
Right.
And I don't raise those distance.
Right. An interesting story. I kind of like this story. You and Rick Martis were flying here.
Yeah.
Rick came, and North American people that know Rick Martis, CBS, Continental Breeding Station, great guy. Him and his son, super.
Really?
Always nice, always good to me. He came here to live here in Belgium, and he got to fly in your backyard with you. You gave him, you set it all up, and he was going to fly long distance, extreme long distance, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Tell the story of how you guys went out to get the long distance pigeons, because I think the story, the tips that you got when purchasing them was an excellent tip.
Yeah, we looked over where we're going to go and what we're going to do, and we end up buying pigeons at John O'Zool from Ape. John O'Zool was a very, very good, extreme long distance racer, had the ace pigeon Barcelona, I think he won National Barcelona, he won the marathon, he won everything. And he had extreme long distance pigeons. His pigeons were especially Braco's Van der Wegen, I think, if I'm right. And some of Hermes.
Van der Wegen, right?
Van der Wegen.
Yeah.
Some from Hermes from Germany. And he told me, you're coming to buy long distance pigeons? I said, yeah, me and Rick, we're interested in long distance pigeons. He said, yeah, I want to sell you long distance pigeons. I will sell you from the good ones, but I give you 2 advices. He said, first of all, he said, don't take a clock under 500 miles. I said, no, Jean. Why not? He said, because you will smash the clock against the wall because you won't clock a pigeon.
Yes.
He said, they're too slow.
Too slow.
And second of all, he said, don't cross them with your middle distance pigeons, because if you're going to cross them with your middle distance pigeons, my extreme long distance hardness of the family will be gone, and your speed of your middle distance will be gone, and you will have nothing left. He said, and maybe it will work for a few years, but if you're going to have an extreme hard long distance race, your loft going to be empty, and you're going to have to start all over again. So he said, I will sell them to you, but don't forget those 2 advices. And I think he was right. You couldn't do anything with those pigeons shorter than the distance they were born for.
So you did, you tried, you listened to what he said to you.
I listened. Sometimes I didn't listen, but I always remember what he have said. And I didn't throw my clock away, but I thought, oh, here is happening what Jean told me. They're not coming.
So, and you actually seen it. And the numbers, you told me numbers. You'd send 70.
We sent 80 long distance pigeons to a middle distance, 80 middle distance pigeons to a middle distance race. It was 375 kilometers. It was beautiful weather. They were liberated at 7:30 in the morning. The wind was on the head. The sun was out. Beautiful. Right. And we sent 80 long distance pigeons.
80 long distance pigeons.
I had 79 middle distance pigeons home. Before my first long distance pigeon dropped. By the end of the evening, half of those long distance pigeons were not home.
Half of them were not home?
Not home. They could not reach the home from 370 kilometers on the same day. And I told Rick,
you must have been pulling your hair out.
what are we going to do with these pigeons? And then 3 weeks later, we had Bordeaux National.
And how far is that?
That's 800 kilometers.
Okay.
There were no pigeons on the day. And we clocked 4 pigeons, I think, in the 25th National Belgium, all Belgium, from several thousand pigeons. Pigeons that could not come home from the same day from 370 kilometers, dated on the next morning from nearly 900 kilometers. They were extremely good, but only for the distance they were born for and selected for over 100 years, and not for the middle distance races that I used to have.
And you did cross them and
we tried crosses and we lost them. They were no good.
So he predicted exactly what was going to happen.
Guarantee 100%.
And I guess that gets back to the first of what you said, was when you went to purchase pigeons, they were long distance. Yeah. You obviously liked the gentleman.
Oh yeah.
And the gentleman gave you his honest, from his heart, the feeling. These are some tips. Yeah. Listen. And you tried it all out. Yep. And bang, he was right.
I didn't know anything about long distance, and then I'm talking about extreme long distance like Barcelona, Perpignan, Marseille, Dax. Pigeons cannot come home on the day, it's always next morning, and it's very tough racing. I didn't know anything about it. So what he told me was a good advice. Yes. And sometimes I thought, well, let's pair them with some of mine and let's see what happened. Nothing happened. It only happened what he predicted that would happen, and it was. And they were very good. We had a very good Barcelona race. We had the best in Antwerp that year with only 2-year-old pigeons. They were very good for the distance that they were born for and selected for. Really good.
So it was a good purchase.
It was a good purchase and it was a good lesson. Only buy pigeons for the purpose that you need them. I mean, if I would race with my loft now, Barcelona, I guarantee you my loft would be empty in 2 years, no matter how good these are. Because they are not born, they are not selected, they don't have the muscle, they don't have the tool to do those races. They have the tool to the races that I want them to.
Right.
And that's up to 750 kilometers. Over that, I tell everybody, don't buy them because you won't have any fun of them.
Right, and that you know your pigeons, you know your family of pigeons. I can feel it, again, handling your pigeons, it's a super nice buoyant feel. They've got enough muscle, the forearms are nice, they're super buoyant, they're not overly long, they're just that, they feel like that, 6 to 9 hour, 8 hour pigeon. A real nice super feather quality. Different than the sprint pigeons. They're not.
No, they're not bodybuilders. They're just they're a little bit lighter, buoyant.
Yes.
But they can do longer. I think they can do up to 10 hours easy.
10? Yeah.
Over that, you get sometimes in trouble because they can do it, but to repeat the performance will be hard.
You burn it out of them.
I burn the muscles, and I think they have a hard time recovering and doing the performance more than once.
Yes.
That's a hard thing.
Now, we talked, a selection of pigeons, how you select. You look at a lot of pedigrees as well. Are you a big fan of big pedigrees?
I'm a too big fan of big pedigrees in the winter. And once we start racing, I'm back to...
Serious?
Yeah, and I realized then that a pedigree is actually worthless. Because a bad pigeon also have a pedigree and a good pigeon have a pedigree. And you only can use... There are only two kind of pigeons, good pigeons and bad pigeons. You only can use the good ones, then you get rid of the bad ones. But they also have a pedigree. So, and in the winter, I find myself get stuck in that sometimes because the winter's 7 months and racing season wake you up immediately. First week you're racing, you know again that I was wrong with those pedigrees. It's only the pigeon that matters.
Question. In your life of breeding, you've won a lot of big races, a lot of large races, big competition, high level racing. How many super prepotent pairs, number ones, the best of the best, how many have you had in your lifetime?
It's very easy to say one.
You've had one.
One. The father of that pair was my old 23 from 1984. Gave nothing but good pigeons. Nothing. One superstar and the other one was good, but they were all good. I have several good breeders over 50 years, really good breeders, but not one that gave nothing but good pigeons, except that one.
And you said this pigeon was so good that you could pair him to
a chicken, and he would still win races. And the funny thing is, I had 4 brothers, and he was the worst in racing.
So out of the 4 brothers that you had,
yeah,
he was the worst racer. Now, when you mean worst racer,
he was a good...
Did he come home 3 days late?
No. He was always on time, but his brothers won 5th, 7th, 8th, 10th national, 15, 20,000 pigeons. He could not do that. He could win 120, 100, which is still a good prize. But he was not a superstar.
No.
But his children were.
And his brothers were.
And his brothers were good breeders, but he was the best.
So he was a little bit behind them, but he was a sensational breeder.
Yeah.
And his children bred good?
Yeah.
Grandchildren?
Yeah, they're still in my family, and it's from 1984. So it's how much?
84?
16,
no, 30.
38 years ago.
37, 38
because
years.
my wife had made a picture from him, and he's made in gold from that because
he was the best one.
He made my whole house. He made everything for me.
That pigeon.
Yep.
What was his name?
23.
23.
Yeah. If you talk to Chinese, they maybe don't know me anymore, but they still know 23 from 84.
Wow.
He's been good all over the world.
Really, eh? And you've had People maybe who don't know, you've had big success. We were just talking about Little Miss Nikki.
Yeah.
Tom Schilling's Little Miss Nikki, South African winner.
Yeah, I bred the mother of Little Miss Nikki, and I sold her to Steve Martis, and Steve Martis sold her to Tom Schilling, and he bred then his South Africa winner.
Yeah, South Africa. I think that pigeon won almost 400 or 380,000 or something. I think 380,000.
Yeah, it could be, but Little Miss Nikki's mother had a band from my loft. I banned her. I bred her.
And again, we look at it, 350 mile race. I think it was 8 or 9 hours. I think it was maybe 9 hours on the wing, 9 to 10 hours.
Yeah, that's what that's what the pigeons that I have. Huh?
Yeah,
that's the pigeons that
I have. I was at Tom's. I handled his pigeons. I feel a lot like this, but the buoyancy in these pigeons, the feather qualities. You handle a pigeon, Serge. You put a pigeon in your hand. Someone hands it to you. What are you looking for when you hold on to a pigeon?
I must like the pigeon. I don't know what I'm looking for. What I like on a pigeon is a good back, the vents closed, very soft muscle, and a smart look. I don't know, I cannot say it's a good pigeon, but I find some pigeons have a stupid head that look like an idiot, and some pigeons have a smart head, and a smart pigeon that's what we need. I'm not going to say I can say that's a crackerjack and he's going to win every race, because no, I've been so many times so wrong that you don't know what you're doing. But the pigeon, I must like a pigeon, and if a pigeon I don't like, he could live for a while, but not long in my love, because by the end he's going to do a mistake, and I'm fed up with him. I kill him anyway. So it's a feeling that I have. I don't think I can pick a good one in another loft. I don't think that. But I know when I see my young birds after a few months, I think but when I start training and you see how they come home, I think, oh, this could be a good one, that could be a good one. And
do you look for characters in the pigeons? You talk to them, you play with them?
Oh, not so many. You see, I have quite some number of pigeons.
You do.
I only want them to come. They have to. What I say have to happen. If I let them out, I call them in. They have to come in.
Right.
If they don't come in, he can do it one day. He can do it 2 days, but never 3 days. Then he's out.
So
they have to do what I say they're gonna do. But really playing with them, no. But they have to be handled. They have to really respond good on me.
Okay.
But not really playing with them, not really making them family, not really.
So your rules are pretty. They're strict, like a house. You're the boss. You let them out. You give them a few opportunities to learn the game. But when you call them in, they listen. They respond.
I have too many pigeons. If I have a few that don't listen, I'll be busy all day.
Yes.
And when I call them in, they have to come in. If they try to be out, and sometimes in the middle of the season you have a pigeon that acts crazy and doesn't respond anymore on you. Well, you have to leave then. I'm not going to sit there all day waiting till that pigeon feel really comfortable and then coming in when he wants. No, you have to come in when I want.
So you're strict?
Very simple.
Okay.
I think you have to make a rule. I'm the boss.
That's right.
And they have to do what I want, not the other way around. It's an animal, and that animal has to do what I want. I do everything what I can to make them as comfortable as they want, to make them as good as they want, and to treat them as good as I can. But then they have to listen what I want, and not out. Some simple.
So simple, very common sense. You're the boss, and that's right. And you take that approach even if you bring a bird in. If you bring a bird into your loft and he goes in your loft and he's maybe causing chaos or havoc or something about him you just don't like, he's eliminated?
I don't want a pigeon that causes chaos. If a pigeon even in my breeding loft causes chaos, he's out immediately. I don't hesitate till he ruins 5 nests. No. After one, his life is over. Maybe I try him in a separate loft alone, on his own, but never in that breeding loft, because I know once you see trouble, it will cause trouble again, and it goes further and further. I hear people in my club saying, "Oh, this was broken, and so many nests are broken." My pigeons are paired up, and usually they're paired up all different hens like the year before. After 4 days, they're loosened in the loft. I never had one nest broken in the last 5 years, never. But if I see that somebody caused me trouble, you see it coming. You see how he acts. He didn't broke a nest, but he's gonna do that.
Yeah,
I'll take him out before he does it.
Yeah, you separate them, try them in a different loft. If you see it happens again,
out. I can't stand that.
It's chaos.
Your hen is ruined that he's paired on because you have nothing from him, and he ruined all his neighbors. So no. Out. A pigeon has to do what you want.
Do what you want. You race a pretty strong system of this middle distance, 10, 12, 13 weeks of this pace with these pigeons. Pigeon comes back late, not on the day, or bird looks extreme. Maybe the bird comes home late. You give him a week off?
If he comes late on the same day, no. He goes back. If he comes late 2-3 days, yes, I leave him a week home. And I see then how he trains, because I don't go road training. I only do loft flying. I see how he reacts. If he doesn't want to fly, I take him out of the team. Then his season is finished, because he won't pick up again. If he's always one turn and back in the loft, first of all, he takes the flock down. I don't want that. I want him to train, because I put the flags out. And second of all, he's not going to recover so good. So then I keep him home. But when he keep reacting like that, don't want to train, don't want to fly, I don't send him anymore. I take him out.
Will you hold him till the next season, or is he finished?
No.
Done. And so pretty straightforward. You're the boss here, and if you see a pigeon and this is another thing, you see a pigeon that comes home from a race, right up in the front, maybe your first pigeon, and he's beat. He's tired out. Do you look at the pigeon, go in the loft in the evening and take a look? Oh, he still looks beat. The next day you look at him, oh, he still looks beat. Does this bother you?
It bothers me, but the problem is, by next week Friday, I forget it, and I send him. And when he's that beat, he will be gone. And I made a lot of mistakes doing that, but it's the way I am. And I think about it. I think about it Sunday. I think about it Monday, and I think, he's tired. But by Friday, I forget it, and I think, well, come on, ship him. And then 9 out of 10 times I'll lose him. And I know that. I did some pretty mistakes about doing that, but it's the way I am. And okay, gone. When he's gone, he's gone. Okay.
So you keep playing the game. The basket doesn't lie to you, does it, Serge?
No, and by the end of the season, I will have enough good ones, I hope, left for next year's team. So no, I keep forgetting things like you should keep him home. I know that. Or you should give him a time off. And probably when it's an ace pigeon of Belgium, I would do that. But a definition of a good pigeon is different for everybody. And for me, a definition of a good pigeon is very high at the moment, and I forget it, and I just send him and make mistakes. I even make mistakes a lot. So
hey, here we are, Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions, Serge Van Elsacker. I have had a tremendous, amazing time here. The knowledge you have in pigeons is second to none. Strict caller, good pigeon man. Thank you for doing this. This was excellent. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for flying with us, guys. Bye for now.